audience a little bit of your background and who and what you do for IHG, please?
Yeah, sure. I'm a 20-year veteran in this industry, currently with IHG. My responsibility spans from the Mississippi River West to oversee development of our mainstream brand portfolio, which includes Holiday Inn, Holiday Inn Express, Staybridge Suites, Candlewood Suites, Avid Hotels, and the soon-to-be officially launched Atwell Suites.
Very nice. Very nice. Let's talk about Atwell for a second. That's an upper scale extended stay product. What's tell us what's going on with Atwell?
Yeah, sure, Craig. A slight correction. It's not technically an extended stay product. It's more properly described as a upper mid-tier, all-suite
Okay.
transient product. Fills a nice niche, not only within our portfolio of being all suites and catering to the top end of the mainstream consumer base that IHG enjoys a stronghold over, but also an opportunity out there in the marketplace as brand companies continue to launch brands and try to find niches in which to appeal to their guests.
Very nice. When's all the marketing materials going to start coming out on that?
So we started trickling it out with our unveiling, if you will, was at our owners conference in Las Vegas in mid-May, where we announced the concept, the name, discussed some of the process by which the methodology, rather, that we use to develop the brand, the opportunity, and the room base. We are continuing to work and refine the public area offering, the exterior, and are anticipating being formally available for franchising in September of this year.
Wow,
That's quick.
great.
This is around the corner.
That's great, my friend. Tell us about the rooms. What are the rooms going to be like?
Yeah, so it's as the name would indicate, it's an all-suite product. A little bit wider bay, overall room size about 330 square feet. There is a refreshment area within the room that's more of a wet bar than a kitchen,
Great.
thus not formally classified as an extended stay hotel, although we do see opportunities for the 5 to 13 night guest that never contemplates using the full kitchen amenity during their stay.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, a lot of people that are not going to basically prep anything or eat anything. They're just
Right.
going to be going out.
That's true at hotels, and it's becoming more and more commonplace at home as well. As you look at takeout platforms for restaurants on the rise, delivery services growing by leaps and bounds in all formats.
Good point.
Well, and your time is limited. I mean, it's a good point that you're bringing up, Kevin, about the in-home. It's not even just, I mean, the way you're living in your own house, and you're basically traveling and staying at a hotel property. You're bringing out that same quality of life and experience that you normally do, and looking for that service provider to provide you the tools to continue to do that. It's a very good point.
Have you signed any contracts for these yet, Kevin? Or is it too early for that?
No, we have not finished registering the franchise disclosure document.
Right.
And so we're not officially available for sale.
Okay.
And you mentioned something about dialing in the public area amenities. What are some of the things that maybe on this particular brand that you guys are looking to introduce or to amplify? Can you talk about any of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Not surprisingly, the public area is going to be an open space, great room, effectively with different usable parts and components within the overall square footage allocated to the public area. Every Atwell Suites will have a bar, and we will have some form of tapas light food to accompany the drinks, but
Nice.
heavy emphasis on beverage, with really the food being a complimentary item that can be easily delivered by the bartender without incurring additional labor costs.
Love it.
Which is probably driving a good amount of your programming. I mean, the increase in labor costs, the sort of back of house allocation of square footage for back of house. I mean, I'm sure that's becoming more and more a reality for when you're planning these brands, right?
Absolutely. I mean, our emphasis when launching a new brand is really focused on revenue producing square footage. And
right.
so lean and mean in the back of the house, using technology where and when possible, instead of labor, which is one of the biggest challenges for our owners today and will be moving forward.
Or in certain states, even more so than others. I mean, this is an interesting thing I don't think sometimes gets discussed relevant to the franchise model, is that it has to be an attractive
Right.
product for somebody to basically come in and basically take on as a franchise holder. So, yeah, those are very critical pieces. I can only imagine more and more every day.
Kevin, typically how many associates are going to be at these properties, and how many keys is the prototype?
The prototype will be 100 keys, although we do anticipate some fluctuation up and down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd say the viable range is probably between somewhere in the 80s to, call it 125, 30 on the top end. You know, meeting space would max out at 1,500 square foot, so more of a small meetings type venue. Not looking to layer on complexity to the operation.
Right.
But that's smart too, because I think in most cases there's a lot of smaller groups that are looking for places that are dialed in and have the back support for them for meetings. And a lot of markets, those smaller areas are rare.
Yeah, that boardroom scenario with the light F&B works out well. Now, Kevin, let me ask you something. Is it a trend that I'm seeing that with these new brands, the prototypes seem to be smaller?
You know, I don't know that it's necessarily a trend per se, although I do believe it might be a subtle indication of what's truly available out in the market in terms of sites. What we've seen is that the 2.5, 3 acre field in a good location just does not exist. Owners are more challenged with smaller sites or oddly configured sites, or now even going up and trying to figure out alternative methods of construction to accommodate a 5 or 6 story building.
And I think you're right about that, and also just the cost of new construction at this point.
Right.
We're looking in some cases, 20% increase for, materials and labor.
And that's without tariffs.
Right, without tariffs.
Yeah.
So.
No,
exactly.
there's a lot of scary things boiling up in the pricing pot. Fortunately for the listeners of this show, and us included, we're in California, where owning and operating hotels has been a frothy proposition for a long time. It's more of a function of, can I get in, not how much it costs if you're a long-term holder.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the key and the success that you and I met, virtually 20 years ago when we were, both fairly new to the industry. And the differences that we've seen between then and now.
Can only imagine.
The empires that we've seen rise and fall and come back again. And I find it's very interesting. As I recall, your beautiful wife is an attorney who does entitlements. Is that correct?
That is correct. She is now only practicing for her own account. Her business, the Urban Nest North County, owns and operates vacation rental properties, as well as does other residential acquisition, renovation, and transformation work.
Okay. So that's got to add another layer of expertise for you. Seeing what the entitlement process is now versus some of the other, brand representatives that are out there. You're hearing what's in the trenches and going on daily, which I think's got to be invaluable for
back channel.
Yeah, for you, for Holiday Inn Express and all the other brands that you guys have got under development right now. And speaking of development, what's your pipeline looking like in California?
Mm-hmm.
Our pipeline in California is very solid at this point. Currently, we have a total of 75 hotels, equating to 7,859 rooms in the pipeline. Those are mostly in our mainstream brand family, but we do have a Hotel Indigo as well as 2 Kemptons that are in the development stages here in the great state of California.
Love it. That's great. Are the Kemptons coming to the Southern California area, or are they going to be up north?
One of each.
One of each. Good.
We got one.
I like that split. And how about with your Holiday Inns and Holiday Inn Expresses? Is the split pretty equal between north and south in the state, or are they focusing more in Southern California right now?
No, I think we see a fair distribution of our pipeline between northern and southern California.
Good.
The entire state is always highly sought after. It's interesting you bring up Northern California. The demand is so strong up there. I'm starting to hear things like midweek minimum length of stays for corporate travel.
Wow.
Which is unbelievable, but there's so much demand and such a finite amount of supply that kudos to our owners and operators for capitalizing.
Absolutely. And didn't you guys recently open up a hotel in Silicon Valley?
We have one that's just on the cusp of opening. Holiday Inn in Milpitas, California. So we're certainly looking forward to that. We're probably 30 to 45 days from cutting the ribbon on that, and are very excited about it.
How many keys is that hotel?
It's 132, I believe, plus or minus a key.
There you go.
It's a good size.
Good size. I love it. Yeah, 30 to 45 days away from your opening. That's great. I can't wait to see the press release on that one. That should be interesting. Well, speaking of our Golden State, my friend, what are you seeing in trends for hospitality, and what are you bringing out to the market that's on the horizon that you can talk about for IHG?
Yeah, I mean, hospitality trends in California on the operating side continue to be positive. Some areas unbelievably positive. San Francisco operating statistics are up double digits.
There you go.
Year over year. So it just continues to increase. I believe that is much like we were just talking about Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
It's a function of when it's so difficult to get new supply into the California marketplace, southern, northern, both are similarly challenged. Demand continues to outpace that supply increase. And so we're actually seeing year over year across IHG's portfolio in California, in the first quarter, year over year, we're up 4.6%.
Wow,
that's a total of
congratulations.
241 hotels. Yeah,
very impressive.
I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're the numbers that were recently talked about in through the conference gauntlet here over the past couple of months were far less appealing on a national stage. So the hotels in the States still remain very, very strong.
Strong. Well, speaking of conferences, a little breaking news. Kevin was on our hotel brand panel this year for the California Lodging Investment Conference, and Kevin and IHG will be back for Click 4 on March 5th of 2020. And thank you very much for that great news, my friend.
And
I really appreciate it.
You never give out the website, Greg. What's the website for Click?
It is cliconference.com.
I just had to do that, Kevin. He forgets.
Hey, I'll layer on the shameless plug and say that for those listeners who have not been to the Click conference and are interested in California hospitality investment, it is a must go. There's tremendous amount of networking opportunities to learn more about getting into the marketplace and understanding the very unique challenges that California presents.
We got to come up with some sort of slogan like "It's the best day you've ever spent at a hotel," right? Or something like that, right? It's a one-day conference for those who don't know. And I echo what Kevin says. There's so much that happens in that one day. It is definitely something you need to put on your event calendar every year.
Yeah, you really do. It's
what month next year, Craig?
It's March 5th, so we try and have it on the first Thursday in March every year, and so far we've done that. We've sold out our first 3 years. We will be opening up the gate to sell tickets in July. We'll be making an announcement of our panels in August, and then we're going to be turning up the volume and getting ready. So we've got
taking place same place as this year.
Yeah, we're going to be back at the West and South Coast Plaza. It worked out real well for us last year, or this year, I should say. And we're raising the bar again. At least we're trying to. We've got new sponsors coming on board. We've got Kevin, who was on our first brand panel this year, coming back, and we'll be on a panel again next year. And it's very exciting. We've got some new lenders. We've got some other third-party professionals. We've got some mutual clients of Kevin's and mine, and most likely yours as well, Rad, that are calling me and going, "Hey, we want to be part of this." And it's a good thing. It's that small, intimate boutique conference where we have a few hundred people, and if you're in the California hotel market, or if you want to be, this is the one-day event that focuses solely on the California hotel market.
With a lot of who's who that are involved in that actively.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you have not been, highly recommend that you get on right quick, and I will make another prediction that this year Craig Sullivan and the Click Conference will sell out before the event. They've done it every year.
Hey, from your lips to God's ears. So,
no, Kevin, what do you think? I mean, I don't think that's a far stretch, is it?
Well, you've got one commitment right here on the line.
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Actually,
I'll take that.
I think we're going to have 2 or 3 from IHG. So, yeah. So tell us about your team, Kevin. Where are they at throughout the Western U.S.? I know you're west for the Mississippi River West. Where have you placed your key team members? Because you're running the development side, and have people in I'm thinking virtually every state in the Western U.S.
Close. On my team, I have 7 regional directors and 2 business development managers sprinkled throughout the reference geography. Each regional director is directly responsible for anywhere between 2 and 5 or 6 states, depending upon which ones they are. Okay. And then our business development managers also help support their efforts throughout the Western U.S.
That's quite a team. That's very impressive. I'm glad to see that you've got that mixture of your management and business development guys and women working together. I think that's extraordinary.
Kevin, I got a question. You've been at this long enough. What are you seeing, or what have you seen change, or maybe changes that are coming relevant to that franchise development component? Like, is it pretty much the same way business has been conducted? Has there been changes? Are the people that are interested in I mean, obviously, the company has a very high prestige and appeal, but from your perspective, from your bird seat, if you will, have you anything that you would share that the industry has changed a little bit?
Yeah, sure. A couple of notable changes that I'll lay out as topics of conversation. The first of which is I believe there's greater separation in the franchisor arena than there ever has been. On the top end of the demand profile, and I'm talking about demand from owners for the products under these franchisors' umbrellas. You have Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, and IHG. And then certainly there are a lot of other franchisors, but the gap between the two groups is bigger than ever and continues to grow. That's really rooted in the delivery from the parent company in the form of reservation contribution, in the form of loyal guests. Our particular program is 100 million members strong, and so obviously that's an attractive attribute when owners look to affiliate their hotels. The second change that is out there is a little bit in the way that franchisors are willing to conduct business. I think that you see not only from IHG, but from other companies out there to varying degrees, more aggressive deal making, particularly for high-value assets or hotels that may have a value above and beyond the economics of the actual deal. You're seeing franchisors get more aggressive in pursuit of those opportunities. We are certainly doing some things to make our brands more attractive to owners, and it helps offset the rising costs that are out there.
Well, speaking of that, and Kevin, we didn't talk about this in our call the other day, but let me bring this up if you don't mind. Talk to us about your PIPs, on Holiday Inn Expresses and Holiday Inns in particular. It seems to me, formerly at a construction company, that the IHG PIPs were pretty straightforward, and they seem to be more franchisee friendly than some of the others that I've seen. So are you taking that all into consideration? Is that a strategic point that you are making for your franchisees?
How you go about your PIPs is, yes, right?
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, a PIP is a delicate balance between
yes, it is.
Brand standards and consumer confidence, along with owner returns. And
owner sensitivity, too.
Exactly. And so, when we look at PIPing a hotel, all of our brands have moved recently into a much more standardized design with the goal to be more consistent across the board. So our travelers, can expect specific things from each one of our brands and realize those expectations when they get to any location. We try to be sensitive when possible to allow owners to realize the useful life of goods that they may have purchased which aren't exactly to our brand specification, as long as they're in good quality and in keeping with the overall design palette of the brand.
There you go. I love it. Kevin, we're almost out of time, and I know you've got to prep for a conference call that you're going to have shortly. I want to take a moment and thank you for being our guest today. Thank you for being a part of the California Lodging Investment Conference. You are a tremendous friend and asset to this industry. And please let's let you do a shameless plug and tell our audience how people can get a hold of you.
Or find out more information about what you guys do.
Yeah, first of all, I'll say that I'm glad I'm not in studio on the YouTube feed as I'm blushing with all those kind of remarks. I'm honored to be able to be invited and be able to participate with such great hosts. So thank you guys
You're
for
too kind.
reaching out. In terms of getting a hold of me, my email address is kevin.schramm@ihg.com. Spelling on the last name SCHRAMM as in Mary. Happy to follow up with any and all listeners that want to reach out. In terms of the new product that we have talked about today, Atwell Suites, atwellsuites.com. There is information that I described, as well as a little bit of additional information along with renderings that have been posted. So check it out. I think it's going to be a great fit in the state of California, kind of building on the return on investment that Holiday Inn Express owners have realized over the years, in an all-suite format at a slightly higher price point, but construction costs commensurate with that increase that allow those owners to continue to meet their returns and their investors' returns.
Perfect. I love it. Hey, Kevin, I'm going to give you a call most likely tomorrow. I've got a deal that's come across my desk, a development site, and your name was the first one that came out of my mouth, trying to put together a little JV here with the property owner. So I want to run that past you. And thank you again for being on the show.
Yeah.
And you know what? Our studio audience is going to give you a big round of applause right now, Kevin. Thank you, my friend, and have a great day.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk soon, and I'll see you if not before, the first Thursday in March. Looking forward to Click next year.
Thank you, sir. We're going to go take a short commercial pause, and we will be back with Check Out California.
Hi, this is Ryan Huntsman with Chicago Title Company, located in beautiful Newport Beach, California. We're a national hub for our company, so we service the entire nation very efficiently with one of the largest national footprints in the industry. As part of the Fidelity family of companies, we get to enjoy and boast about being ranked number 302 on the Fortune 500 list. We're very proud of our tenured staff as they handle some of the most complex and high liability transactions across the country in a very professional and pragmatic fashion. Finally, many people are unaware of all the ancillary services that our Fidelity family of companies has to offer, including 1031 exchanges, UCC services, home warranty services, and much more. So if you haven't created a strategic partnership with a solid title company representative, I urge you to reach out to myself or someone else at Chicago Title to get the most of what we have to offer. Thank you.
And we're back. I'm Craig Sullivan.
And I'm Rod Gantis.
And this is Check Out California. Hey, let's do a few little news bites here. California tourism spending tops $140 billion. California travelers and residents spent.
I think they're all spending it at
Disneyland?
At Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. Galaxy's Edge. So travelers and residents have spent over $140 billion at restaurants, stores, and other businesses in 2018. It's a 5% increase over the previous year.
Yes, sir.
Travel industry accounts for over 1 million jobs. You need to fix your hair. It's standing up in the back.
Well, that's because the numbers.
The numbers
scared me. I was actually going to say, for all those who basically knock California.
There you go.
Yes, smoke on that one.
Hey, and we've talked about this a few times. We've got 115 hotels in the development pipeline just for Marriott in Los Angeles. Glendale gets in a loft. Construction started on this 85-key a loft in downtown Glendale.
That's a good product for there.
That's going to be a tremendous product down there.
It's a good fit.
Yeah, good for Marriott, and the developer is looking at about a $17.5–18 million construction loan on that, which really, considering
For that
it's
market, for
85
that
keys,
location?
not bad,
Nope.
not bad at all. And then
Hey, it could be San Francisco, right?
boy, yeah. Let's look at $1.2 million
$1.2 million
a
a key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in our backyard in San Juan Capistrano, Marriott breaks ground. The Inn at the Mission, a Marriott Autograph Collection hotel, broke ground, San Juan Capistrano. Project almost a decade in the making, has been involved in multiple lawsuits, but it is under construction.
It's almost complete, I think.
It's still got a ways to go, but
At least the outside and the roof's on.
I think
yeah, it's moving fast.
Yeah, so it's moving pretty fast right now. But and then let's see what else we got.
By the way, a shout out on that one. Very, very delicately inserted, very close to historical, the historical mission. Very nicely done. It went through a lot of backs and forth and a lot of pushback and so forth, but very nicely executed.
Absolutely,
good asset for San Juan.
And then I don't know if anybody's, I'm sure you have. You've most likely seen the Orange County Business Journal. I want to congratulate my friends at Pacifica Hotels.
Oh, yeah.
Next Generation National Growth Plans. Nice article on them. They're a local hotel company. They've had phenomenal growth, and I've got some great friends that are over there. So, if you want to be on the show, if you want to help develop some subject matter, let's talk to you about labor. Let's talk to you about PIPs.
Yeah, we really would like
about lending.
We really would like to do some focus shows on, not that we haven't, but specifically on some of the things that are challenges, maybe that are
on hospitality, California.
Well, no, but I mean like relevant to
to
areas.
Micro.
I want to go micro a little bit. Sometimes we do macro and helicopter, but it's very important also to get big picture. But there are certain things, especially as we get closer to like budgeting season and things like that. So realities of summer travel, how the market changes, especially if you're in coastal. I know a lot of people that are on the room side of things, people that are on the concierge side of things, that are maybe seeing changes to demands, like the nature of the traveler demographic is changing. Grandparents and grandkids, multi-generational travel. How is that impacting your industries? If you're in the California hospitality industry, come talk to us about that.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit more focused about some of these things. PIPs, we were talking about just a bit during the break about needing to do some focus on PIPs because the cost of construction is going up. I mean, I had to give the reality check to a couple of contractors this last week where they came back to me and said, well, because of the tariffs.
Brad Gantos saying that. So send your comments to him, please.
Well, the reason what I'm saying is just like when a tanker gets hit in the Gulf of the Arabian Gulf and the cost of gas goes up immediately at the local gas station. Some of this stuff sometimes is hype, sometimes it's real, and the cost of construction has gone up. The quality of construction is dire is out there, but you got to look. Everybody's very busy, and that's impacting everything that these properties are dealing with. Small renovations, major renovations, repositioning, areas that are underperforming that need to be reactivated. So come to us and talk to us about this. I think this is stuff that we want to put out for people.
Yeah, I've got one client that recently closed on a hotel here in Orange County, and they're going to reposition it. And I was talking to their designer the other day, and and I said, well, what are you doing about a contract? And they go, you know what, we're just trying to get through the design plans right now, then we'll get to that. And I said, well, I think I'd make some phone calls now.
Absolutely.
So, try and get somebody dialed in. So, hey, we're going to say aloha right now. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another edition of Check Out California. Thank you, Rad. How can everybody get a hold of you?
Well, Rod, RAAD, Gantos, GHANTOUS @gmail.com. You can look both myself and Craig up on social media. Drop us, like I said, messages to let us share some of the ideas, some of the challenges, some of the opportunities you guys are facing. Let's bring that and spotlight it on Check Out California. also, you can check out other shows, other guests that we've had on Podbean, and also on Facebook, Instagram.
All the social media
you pretty much trip over us. And check out Craig's show. Check out California 3x10 also. That's basically remote locations at different spaces. He's doing more and more of them. So
the road across California.
Yeah, we are here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. You can reach me at info@cliconference.com, and aloha.
And join the conversation.
There we go.
Thank you for being our guest today on Checkout California. We look forward to having you as a guest with us again in 2 weeks. Until then, you can always reach us through our Checkout California Facebook page or by emailing us at checkoutcalifornia@gmail.com. We love hearing from you. So do let us know what you think of the show and what areas of interest you'd like to see us cover in the future. Your feedback is very important to us as we continue to bring you the best hospitality our Golden State has to offer. Until next time, may all your days be filled with sunsets and palm trees. Now, go experience and check out California.